and the people are really questioning whether they are needed or wanted. So this would be a project for maybe 2 or 3 of your membership committee members to do. Now granted, I know there's some really large clubs here, and it would be quite a project, but I think it would be a real eye-opener. And you might find, I don't know, but in some of your clubs, you may find as many as 20% or 25%, maybe even more, who have no assigned responsibility at all. And it's just a suggestion. It's another tool to be able to allow you to stay on top of what's happening, with membership. Any questions on that? Any comments on that? Okay. Let's look at the survey results. Let's find out what's happening in all of your clubs.
Talk about that they just did.
That you just did. I would like to have the question, first of all, induction. What are the results of your opinion of the quality of your induction in your club? 2 people basically says it's disastrous. Remember, 1 is low, 10 is high. And you got a 3 and a 4 and a 5. None of those are really much to brag about. 6, okay. Okay. 7, 2 of you. 8, 9, 10. Wow. 3 of you said it was on a 10. That's pretty good. I was at a club meeting within the last 60 days, and I'm not going to identify who it is, and they brought in a new member. And I was almost embarrassed. It was not in my club, but I was almost embarrassed. The sponsor was not called up there. The person did not have the opportunity to be introduced. The pin had not arrived in time, so they said, well, we'll get you the pin next week. It was really bad. It was really bad. And I got to thinking, boy, I don't know whether I would want to be, a member of that club or not, even though it's a pretty strong club. It really is. I was really surprised and kind of disappointed. Okay, so the induction, what do you guys do for the induction? The people who did the 9s and 10s, what do you do that you can teach the people who rated themselves 1, 2, 3, and 4? Anybody, what do you do to make it a special event?
The president introduces the new member. The new member comes up and they talk about themselves, what they do for work, just their family, volunteering, and then we get them all together in the front when he's done with his little speech with the president, the sponsor, the new member. We take their picture, and then it is posted in usually the next week's newsletter.
So you can put a name and a face together. That's a really good idea. Give her a candy bar. I think that's pretty good. What else do some of you do? Do you give anything to these people other than a pin? Yeah.
We have a monthly induction process where we bring all the new members being inducted in a month. We have an induction committee. We have a presentation that talks about all of our committees, all of our service opportunities, the foundation. It's called, one of our past presidents put it together, it's called Pearls of Wisdom. So you kind of go around this thing. She wore a pearl necklace, so we utilize that. But it really provides that new member with a perspective on all the opportunities that they have. At that meeting, their sponsor has to be present to introduce them and connect them to the process. At that meeting, they are assigned their mentor. We've just put into place this year our mentoring program, so each new member gets a mentor. Your thing said 6 months, we're doing it for a year.
Good, and we're going to talk about that later on.
So
Thank you.
that's to connect that. And then we come back at a separate meeting where the sponsor introduces the new member at a luncheon. So it's kind of formal.
Great. Anybody else of what you do? Dell?
Yeah, we do things similarly to that, but we have an orientation meeting about 45 minutes before the meeting itself, and we bring our new members in, just like you did, once a month. And all the members have to be there along with their presenter or their
Sponsor?
Sponsor.
Mhm.
And then during the meeting, then the president will call the sponsor and the proposed members up front, and they will the sponsors will introduce them, kind of formally, but it's very brief. And then the new president will put, when they read their name, then he'll put pins on them and have the sponsor help. And then the sponsors all sit down, the new members remain standing, and one of the past presidents will get up and give a charge. And it is.
There's a good idea.
It's a real formal setting and informal in a way, but formal,
Yeah.
and everybody appreciates them. When they're all done, we all stand and greet them and give them a round of applause.
So the spotlight is truly on those new members for that 5 or 10 minutes. What do you, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we do a lot.
You do a lot of
Similar
that?
to that, but we have kind of an induction officer that does the actual induction in. He does an excellent job. He's been a Rotarian for many years. And then, but all the sponsors up there, but they introduce them, but in turn, they have the sponsor get information from the new member and actually introduce and tell them about them. So they feel, they aren't quite so put on the spot in front of all these new people.
That's a great idea.
And-
Stephanie, why don't you write it here? Induction sponsor, or induction
Officer.
officer. So what you're saying is, it's not always the president of the club.
The president's there, but we always have
Interesting.
him come up, and he does such a great job, and we always try to work around his
Yeah.
schedule so we can induct
So that he's
members.
there.
And
Okay.
he goes through the whole spiel of Rotary and what it means and what their responsibility is. They're given the pin, again, they are congratulated by the president and, the sponsor, and then afterwards, then they're given a round of applause, and then also everybody, all of our members usually try and go and congratulate them and welcome them to the club before the meeting's over.
So like at the end of the meeting, you ask them to maybe stand by the door
Well,
and.
it's more
Or,
formal.
yeah,
We're small
okay,
clubs, so.
all right. So do you give anything to these new Rotarians other than their pin?
Well,
And if so, what?
New member packet.
now,
A new member packet, and what is in the new member packet?
Four-way test.
Okay,
Usually a coin, usually a pin.
okay,
Then a brief description of Rotary that's in it.
okay, all right. Some
It's
clubs,
a brief packet.
some clubs give out the ABCs of Rotary, and you will get information on how to order them and how much they are and all of that stuff. Some clubs give, Joanne, just hold up just the one copy of the Rotary Basics, where the water bottle is.
Oh,
That,
okay.
yeah, and there's one for everybody there, but that is a really neat, very concise overview of what Rotary is, the history all the way up to today, and you can order them in quantities, 75 cents each or something like that. That is one of the best promotional tools. That is great. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. Any other things before we leave induction?
We always tell the new member that they're welcome to bring their spouse along if they come up.
Oh, for the actual induction? That's a good idea. Yeah, spouses or partners, welcome.
Whatever.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, we're going to move on then, and we're going to find out what the results were of the new member orientation. Now, sometimes, the old term was fireside chat, and a lot of people still use that, and that's fine. Other clubs are saying, we're going to call it new Rotarian or new member orientation. All right, let's see what you guys are doing on that. Five of you are saying it's really bad. And your 2s and your 3s and your 4s. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of you in this room, almost half, have said the quality of our new member orientation is a 5 or worse. Ouch. That's an area that needs some work. There's no question about that. Okay? So, real briefly, for those who rated them an 8 and a 9 and a 10, what do you do that you can share with the others? Just one or two things.
We have an event in the evening that we do ask the sponsor to come along with the new member. And we provide wine, and we go over many of the very things that were said here for the induction, about what Rotary is, what the opportunities are. So we do it in a more intimate setting than in a large meeting. And we've changed, we've become, I would say, less stuffy. As such, we have more fun because it is a more intimate group, and our younger people seem to appreciate that a lot better, a better response.
And the people are required to attend the new member orientation?
Well, we give them a red badge because they're new, and when they attend our session, their badge turns to blue.
Yeah.
And so the red badge also lets us know who our new members are. So we're not a small club, but we're not a huge club. But to go through the food line, if a person has a red badge on, you know exactly that they have.
That's right, you know their status. Yeah,
Exactly.
right.
And so when they do attend, we still call it the fireside chat instead of the new
It's
member
fine.
orientation.
That's
They,
perfectly okay.
Their badge turns from red to blue, and then, so it's kind of an incentive.
Did you hear one thing that she said? Our club needs to have more fun. Sometimes clubs can get really stuffy. And one of the clubs that I work with as an assistant governor had those same concerns. And they said, our club meetings are just no fun. We don't have any fun. And so, starting a couple of years ago, they created a new committee. And it was called the Fun Committee, not the Fund with a D, Fun Committee. And at every meeting for maybe 3 minutes, 4 minutes, absolutely no more than 5 minutes, usually around 3 minutes, there's some fun activity. And it could be the whole table, you know, trying to figure out how many different names of cars or universities or candy bars or whatever. Yesterday, everybody had the same 10 questions, but each table had a different letter. And the table I was at started with was a letter M. So one of the 10 or 12 or 15 questions was, name something that you associate with winter that has to start with an M. Well, we came up with mittens. Well, we came through those 12 or 15, and then another table, they had the letter B. And the other table had the letter L. We did the whole thing like in about 3 or 4 minutes, no prizes, but the winning table, you know, we all applauded and sat down and had good laughs and went on to something else. So don't forget, folks, to have some fun. What else do you do for new member orientation? Back here.
Introduce them to all the committees, so they really have a way to get involved, so we explain the committees to them that they can be part of.
That's key. Don't just tell them these are the committees, explain. They don't know what is meant by some of these. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. Anything else for new member orientation? You cannot let that be. You just cannot let it be ranked number 1 to 5. You just can't, or you are setting yourself up for failure. You really are. Someone have their hand back here, Dell.